Hello everyone, I am Juanan, better known as Dr. Seuss. Today I bring you a nuke deck profile. This time I made the top 32 in the online regionals of May. I had the 17th position. I went uh, 7 wins, 2 losses against Jorit, the winner of the event, and another Italian player that was the 3rd position of the tournament. So, well, this was the first event with the card market stuff, and there were a lot of draws because Yellow Hybrid is popular and it tends to draw a lot against the mirror match or against other decks that want to be as slow as them. That's why I managed to get, well, top 32. It's pretty good because, well, this time I ran X Antibody. X Antibody is my favorite deck from a long time ago, since BT7, since it was starting to be legal. I also like the black color a lot, so I've been also trying to make it competitive somehow, and this is the first time I feel that black is so alive. In BT9, it is known that this deck will be a tier 1, no doubt, but today I consider this to be the third best deck because it has a really good matchup against Yellow Hybrid, which is the tier 0 deck. It destroys the rogue decks like Black Wargreymon, like any deck that's running hybrids, like, mm, this deck has only a bad matchup against Imperial Dramon, but it's 50-50 because it depends on how the Imperial has deck built and how you draw your cards, and if you break or if you don't get your cards on time, you will lose. But we can apply this logic to whatever matchup we have. And that's it. Let's begin with the deck profile. This time my rounds were pretty crazy. I had 3 rounds of Imperial Dramon won and 1 lose against Imperial, against the Italian player. 2 wins against Yellow Hybrid. Uh, 1 lose against Jorit, the winner with Yellow Hybrid also. Uh, the rest of wins, I think they were Red Hybrid, Black War Greymon, and honestly, I don't remember the rest. I think that's everything. 7 wins, 2 losses. Let's begin with the deck profile, and uh, this time I enjoyed this deck so much that I have alter version of each card that I can. So 4 copies of Dorumon. This is really good to have because when you insert your card as the evolution shows, you get some value. This time with Dorumon you get 1 memory. So this lets you cheat with memory whenever you are evolving or performing a big play, and it has an on-play effect to search an X-Antibody card or quota Tamer card to your hand. So Dorumon is mandatory at 4 copies, and then the new one, Ryudamon. This guy makes the same as Dorumon on play, but instead it searches Yuji, which is the new Tamer that we will be explaining later. This guy is insane and has the inevitable of giving a decoy to the Digimon if it is an X-Antibody Digimon. So one cool thing that we can have is a blocker with decoy to protect our big play from being deleted from an effect. And this is pretty important because this deck is really, really skillful. It's not a basic stack into OTK deck. We have an OTK play, but that's not the goal of this deck. So using correctly your abilities and your effects is key to win. And at last we have Sunarisamon, the promo one. This is considered to be one of the most expensive pieces of the deck. If you had upgrades on time, then that should be no problem. It has been reprinted recently, so it's pretty good to have. And basically, if inheritable, if it is a black Digimon and has 13k or more, it gets security +1. That's easy to learn. And this is important to perform OTKs because we can do massive security checks in just 1 attack and 1 turn. Also, it gives piercing to another black Digimon that we control, and this could be handy because sometimes we don't want to attack security, we want to delete Digimons on the field. And Tsunarismon gives us piercing, and piercing is good to have when we are checking 3 or more. Insane cut. That's all for the rookies. The ratios of this deck are really straightforward and have the pyramid structure. So we are running 10 level 4s, 4 copies of Dorugamon. It is a blocker when it has X antibody as material, or it's or we have another X antibody Digimon on the table. And the rest, 4 copies of Ginryumon. Ginryumon is basically a strong body, it's a 6k, and it gives blocker as inheritable. So we can have really big blockers in this deck. And finally, we have 2 copies of Ramblemon. It is a basic hybrid in black to end our matches quickly. So most times we can just go OTK, take out the securities from the opponent, and then we need an extra attack. So Ramblemon makes perfect sense for these stacks. Cool fact about Dorugora, it has inheritable. All turns the Digimon gets plus 1 KDP. This is how you make a really big blocker that is not indestructible by effects. You can achieve an OTK easily. Dorugraemon, best level 5 in my opinion. Inheritable, if it is an X antibody, it gets security plus 1. Also, when digivolving, you can attach 1 black card, 1 X antibody Digimon as Digivolution source, and the Digimon becomes indestructible by effects and its DP cannot be reduced. So this card is the key against yellow hybrids, because it gives you both protection and multiple checks. And having 2 or more stack, so we can have security plus 2 or 3 just because of Dorugraemon. And if we have Tsunarismon and Dorugray, we can just go OTK, no doubt. The other level 5 is Hisariumon. Similar to Ginryu, this one gives Reboot. Reboot is really insane when we have Blocker, plus 3 KDP, Security plus 1, and Decoy, and whatever we have. So, having Reboot is really cool because we can just attack and then re-stand on our turn. We don't have to be conservative in our game plan. We can just still keep attacking and defending with 1 single card. That's pretty awesome. And the effect of Hisariumon is insane. When he gets a Digivolution source because of an effect, which is really easy in this deck, then we can Digivolve immediately Hisario into a level 6. But this Digivolution costs 1 less. So we can have Oriumon for 3, or Alphamon for 2, Dorugora for 2, and that's crazy. Especially because the consequences of this evolution will be great. And, well, we are always cheating. We are always cheating with memory, so having this Digivolution cheaper with an attached Dorumon that has granted us 1 extra memory can mean that we are evolving into Alphamon just for 1 memory. These kind of lines that we could consider memory cheating are really important when we are deploying our plays. Finally, we have 4 copies of the MVP of the deck and 2 Alphamons. Alphamon is not the main level 6 you want. It will always be Oriumon. Oriumon, when Digivolving, has an effect. You can attach 1 X antibody as material, then delete any cost 7 or less from the opponent. So we can kill basically everything that is not Pildramon or a level 6. And the other effect is the most important one, is whenever one of our Digimons gets a Digivolution source because of an effect, this guy gets plus 2 KDP and cannot be deleted by effects until our next turn. That means that Oriumon will be basically Craniamon on steroids, And if we manage to give him maybe a reboot, or security +1, or extra DP, or maybe, I don't know, a blocker. So Oriumon becomes massive, really massive. And eventually, if your opponent cannot deal with this Oriumon with a really big stack of effects, then the Oriumon by itself can take the game. You can just go attack, make multiple checks, attach a new material. We can attach whatever we need, get some value from this movement, because, for example, Dorumon gives us memory, the Digitama gives us draw, and then we can just restand with reboot and keep blocking and keep attacking. And most decks cannot even deal. Most decks don't even have any outs to this guy. That's what makes this deck so good. And Oriumon is basically the MVP of the deck. And well, it has the other effect that is related to Alphamon. That's why we are playing 2 copies of Alphamon. I consider that we don't need Torugora, because there is no deck that leaves presence on the board that is not going to kill you, because Armor Rush is the only deck that leaves 2 or 3 monsters on the field, and you cannot even delete them because of Armor Purge. So Alphamon and Oriumon are good friends, because if we have an Alphamon with an Oreo as the evolution source, after the end of the attack we can unsuspend Alphamon and attack again. And as we have said, we can give Alphamon multiple effects, just like security +1, just like blocker, reboot, and whatever we need, protection. We can make multiple checks from a single attack, then unsuspend, then proceed again. And what else if we have some extra cards that allow us to put multiple Oriumons underneath? Then we can attack, unsuspend, attach another Oreo, attack again, unsuspend again, and continue with the OTK. So this deck, when we are about to win, we make really crazy plays. And that's what I like the most about this. And well, let's move to tamers and options. 3 copies of Kota. This one is the memory setter. On play, reveal 4, add 1 X antibody card, and we have always 3 memory because of Kota. So we prioritize getting Kota as soon as possible. And then the new tamer, Yuji. Yuji is insane. It's the same as Tai and Matt from the Bond decks. If we have an X antibody moving from the breeding area to the battle area, we get 1 memory and draw 1. This effect stacks with multiple copies of Yuji. But that's not at all. If we attack with an X antibody card, we can suspend Yuji and attach 1 Digimon with X antibody as material. So let's suppose we're attacking with maybe security +1 Alphamon. Attack, suspend Yuji, attach Oryu, perform the checks, get memory from Alphamon, and suspend from Oryu, and attack again. And if we have another Yuji, we could repeat the play and have a third attack. And that's it. Just Yuji is really insane. Often, if I don't have Kota as memory setter, I only need 1 or 2 Yujis to win. And often I miss Yuji, and then they give me 1 copy from the security. And basically, I take the whole game from that point. And finally, options, Black Memory Boost for extra consistency and memory. We need really precise amounts of memory to deploy your play, so having Memory Boost is always welcome. Asian Ryu Joujin. This is an X antibody support card. Eat the Digivolts once, a Digimon from the opponent. Then we can attach 1 material to a Digimon, and then delete a cost 4 or less. This is pretty useful against armor, and is a way to keep our Oriumon having extra sources without having Yuji or without attacking. 1 Metal Cannon. This card is insane, because when we activate it, we select 1 X antibody Digimon, and we draw a card for each material it has. And that's crazy, because it's like, hey, I activate this, I pay 2, I draw 9. I draw 10 cards. and you get whatever you need. Maybe the hybrid, maybe a source that you're requiring, maybe that piece that you were missing, or maybe a Yuji or an option that you need to have an out. Finally, 2 copies of Breath of the Gods. I must emphasize on this card. This card is insane, both in security, because it is basically Waboku. It shuts down the opponent from attacking you this turn. So against Imperial Dramon, this is really good to have. Alphamon has a similar effect, but you require to have an X antibody on the field, and only affects to the Digimons that are currently on the battle area. But Breath of the Gods affects everything. Also, I didn't expect as much Imperial Dramon matchups, because Imperial Dramon, I consider that Yellow Hybrid was really powerful and it's a better deck. So after the 5th or 6th round, I shouldn't be facing Imperial Dramon again. I expected a lot of more Yellow Hybrid matchups as the tournament progressed. So Megadeth is a card that you are always afraid of, and Breath of the Gods is your way to attack or perform a Mount Decay without having Megadeth blowing you apart. Especially since Alphamon unsuspends with Orimon in the end of the attack. End of attack means you don't get any effect that suspends your Digimon, just like let's say Megadeth or maybe Flower Cannon. We attack, we receive the effect that suspends Alphamon, and then end of attack we can suspend safely. That's why Megadeth, the only thing that can stop us is Cositus Breath or things that returns to hand, and Breath of the Gods is always helping us with this. So I could have maybe I could have cut any other card just to put more copies of Breath of the Gods, because it was overperforming during the whole tournament. Also, as you don't need protection from destruction effects against the yellow hybrid decks, we could have Breath of the Gods as a really useful card just to not be blown apart by Wyvern's Breath. Finally, the Digitamas are just simple 4 copies of Dorimon. Dorimon is basically our best Digitama right now. I only have 1 on pre-release rarity, but it gives you 1 draw whenever we put a card inside, and that's it. I decided to run this deck because the day before I won a tournament in Madrid in a physical with Yellow Hybrid, and I was really bored of the deck. I won 2 BT8 boxes with Yellow Hybrids, and I thought that I should have been changed of deck just to enjoy the tournament, because I didn't want to play many Yellow Hybrid mirror matches. Nobody wants. And well, the result was pretty decent, and I'm really happy with this. Thank you so much for watching this video. I hope you like my content. Please leave your feedback on the comment section, and enjoy this game. Goodbye.